Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome back to my Robinhood portfolio. Let's go ahead and jump into the Stash Invest application today and buy some stocks. As you guys know, I recently put in $1,000 to the portfolio with the idea of buying every single investment option they have, including the one stock, Berkshire Hathaway Class B stock, as well as all their ETFs. They have about 20 to 30 different ETFs available. The idea would be to follow along to see which of the investment options is the best, and also to see if the limited number of investment opportunities is good and kind of compare that against Robinhood. As you guys know, there is a fee to use this application, $1 per month for my portfolio, and that applies to all portfolios less than $5,000. So that needs to be taken into consideration with the overall percent return. But the nice part about this application, especially for new investors who don't have a lot of capital, is that you can buy fractional shares of each of these investment opportunities, so you don't have to necessarily put down $200 or $300 for one of these stocks. You can put in $20, $10. You have to put in a minimum of $5, but great to dollar cost average, value cost average these particular stocks over the long term for new investors who don't have a lot of capital. So having said all that, let's jump into the application here and buy some stocks. First one here, again, these are all rebranded ETFs here. So Clean and Green is actually just the iShares Global Clean Energy ETF, ICLN here. You can see its last price, $8.57. It's got a good dividend yield at 3.54%. The performance, however, has not been great. Negative 1.69%, even though the overall market has been hitting it's been hitting all-time highs. Let's go ahead and buy just a little bit of this stock. Let's just buy $10 of this particular stock. We'll just be doing this once for all these particular investment options. So we got $10 of Clean and Green. So let's go ahead and just keep jumping back in and buying. Colossal China here. The underlying ETF looks like GXC here, SPDR, S&P China ETF. Okay, dividend yield 1.65%. Performance has been absolutely phenomenal, 29.32% over the last 12 months. Let's go ahead and buy $10 of this as well. And again, we'll just kind of go through and kind of see what each of these ETFs and the one stock are all about, and then put some money in. I'll put a little bit more money into the stocks I think are the better options here. Data Defenders, looks like this is CIDR here. Does not have a good dividend yield. The performance has been good over the last over the last 12 months, 25.73%. So let's put $10 into this stock as well. Just once. So we now have $10 worth of Data Defenders. Defending America, I think this is probably one of the better options in Stash Invest. The underlying ticker symbol ITA, iShares US Aerospace and Defense ETF. Dividend yield 0.96, so not great, but it's had very, very good performance over the last 12 months, 24.98%. So let's buy a little bit of that as well. Let's go ahead and buy $50 worth of Defending America just once. So now we have $50 of Defending America. Below that we have Do the Right Thing here. Looks like the underlying ETF is KLD here. Looks like some of the companies are pretty much blue chip companies here. Microsoft leading the way here. And again, I'm not sure exactly how they select each of these ETFs for their particular portfolio here. Performance over the last 12 months, 18.42%, so it's doing very well. But again, the markets overall have been doing very well. Let's go ahead and put $10 into this particular ETF as well, just once. So it is a little bit laggy here, so I apologize for that. Equality works here. Looks like the underlying ETF is, overview. The underlying ETF, EQLT here, Workplace Equality. Okay, Workplace Equality. Very cool. Dividend yield 1.38%. The performance has been 20.73%. So I think a lot of these are going to have very good performance given that the markets are at all-time highs here. Go ahead and buy $10 of that as well. Let's see if we can get through this before my battery dies. Home Sweet Home. This was probably a real estate investment trust here. Or no, it looks like companies that are involved in home improvement. The underlying ticker symbol XHB here. Yeah, home builders ETF here. Let's go ahead, look at the performance. Over the last 12 months, 9.75%, has not been doing very well. Let's go ahead and just put $10 into the portfolio as well. Let's just do that once. I think there's only a couple more options in the first category here, I believe. Oh, no, there's actually quite a few more here. Live long and prosper. Looks like the underlying ETF is XLV here, Healthcare Select Sector SPDR Fund. The performance over the last 12 months, 8.62%. Let's go ahead and add, let's just do $10 as well for this particular stock, just once. We have $10 of Live Long and Prosper. As we continue on here, Raw Earth. Looks like the underlying ticker is GNR, Global Natural Resources ETF. This one here, it's up 12.64%. Let's go ahead and add that to the portfolio as well, $10. Just once. So all of these I'll be adding just once here. Again, if there's any particular ETF I believe is a little bit better than the others, I'll put a little bit more capital in. Kind of see how those pan out here. Robots rising here. Underlying ticker symbol ROBO, Global Robotics and Automation Index ETF. Dividend yield is not great, 0.16%. Over the last 12 months, very, very good performance, 36.58%. Let's go ahead and put $20 into this particular ETF. Just once next. So now we have $20 of Robots Rising has been now added to the portfolio. As we continue on here, small but mighty. Looks like this is quick, nimble, often overlooked small companies. So small cap companies here. Yeah, Vanguard small cap ETF here, VB. 1.52% dividend yield over the last 12 months here, 15.54%. Small cap tends to be a little bit more risky. Let's just put $10 in once and go ahead and add that to the portfolio here. So large cap companies typically a little bit more safe. Small cap companies, more growth potential, but definitely you have more risk involved in those companies. And the last one here, Water the World. Looks like the underlying ETF PHO here, PowerShares Water Resource Portfolio. Dividend yield 0.66%. Performance, it's been okay, 13.54%. Let's just go ahead and add $10 as well to the portfolio with this particular ETF. And we now have completed the first category within Stash Invest here with the I Believe stocks here. So let's go ahead and go to the I Want aggressive mix. I might put a little bit more money into this particular stock here. The underlying ticker symbol AOR, iShares Core Growth Allocation ETF here. Performance, well, first of all, the dividend yield 2.01%. The performance has been okay, 10.99%. Let's put $20 into this particular stock here. I still have quite a bit left for buying power here. So I might even go back and add some more money to each of these stocks, kind of depending on where we end up with the overall buying power at the end of this. All that glitters. Underlying portfolio GLTR, precious metals, dividend, non-existent performance, 5.8%. This does not look like a great performer. Let's just put $5 into this particular ETF. Not too excited about precious metals ETF. I want the kind of tedious having to go back through all the menus. I wish you would just let me go to the next stock here. This one, Blue Chips rebranded Mega Cap ETF. This is a very, very good ETF. I'm going to put a little bit more money into this one. 1.91% performance, 18.3%. Let's go ahead and buy this. I have how much capital? $785. Let's go ahead and put $100 into this one. I think this is going to be a very good ETF. So let's go ahead and buy $100 of the Blue Chips here. And then we'll go back in. Conservative mix. Looks like it's going to have a lot of bonds. Yeah, a lot of bonds in this particular ETF here. AOK, iShares Core Conservative Allocation ETF. 2.15% ETF. Dividend yield 6.36%. Not too excited about this one either. Let's just put $10 into this particular ETF here. We got that. Yeah, this is getting very tedious having to go back through all the menus here. Try to do this as quickly as I can. Copy the experts. It looks like the underlying ETF here is GURU, Global X Guru Fund. What is this all about? Be a collection of hedge funds. Or it looks like a bunch of, I'm not sure exactly what's involved in this particular ETF here. Performance, last 12 months, 19.04%. Not too excited about this one. Let's just put $10 in as well, just once. Right, so we got $10 of copy the experts. Yeah, it looks like they are copying what a lot of the larger investment fund managers are doing, what a lot of the hedge fund managers are doing. Sorry, couldn't get that out there. Delicious dividends here. Looks like the underlying ETF is SCHD, Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF here, 2.82%. Sorry, this is getting a little bit tedious here. I'm slurring my words and having to go back through all of these menus repeatedly is getting a little bit tedious here. 12 months, 14.25%. Let's go ahead and buy, let's do $20 of this. You guys know I like dividends, so let's go ahead and buy 20 just once. Next, we got $20 of the delicious dividends. Actually, I believe I already had a little bit of that anyway. Don't think I needed to rebuy that, but I think it's okay. Moderate mix here. Underlying ETF is AOM, Moderate Allocation ETF here. Performance, 7.77% with a dividend yield of 2%. Let's go ahead and add $20 to this one as well, just once. Next, now we have $20 of moderate mix now added to the portfolio. As we continue on here, we now have Park My Cash. Let's see what this is all about here. Looks like number of ETFs, or excuse me, number of business development companies. Maybe this is trying to replicate here. PIMCO Enhanced Short Maturity Active ETF here, Mint, M-I-N-T. Maybe some financials. Not quite sure what's going on with this one. 1.95%. Hasn't been doing well. Let's just put $5 into this particular ETF here just once. Next. Right, so we're parking my cash now in that particular ETF. Moving on, we have Public Works here. Looks like the underlying ETF, MUD here, National Muni Bond ETF here. Performance probably is not great. Yeah, 0.79%. Let's just put $5 into this particular ETF as well, just once. Next. All right, now we have Public Works added to the portfolio. Moving on, we have Roll with Buffett here. This is the only stock available on the Stash Invest application here. Underlying ETF, as you can see here, is the Berkshire Hathaway Incorporated Class B stock, BRK.B. Over the last 12 months, very good, 17.74%. Let's go ahead and buy, how much do we have? $615. Let's go buy $100 worth of the stock here. I think this is going to be a very good stock moving forward. But again, I'm not sure long-term holds and Stash Invest with smaller portfolios is great. If you have enough money, better just to go ahead and invest that in Robinhood with zero fees. But we'll go ahead and test out the application, put $100 in. Slow and steady here. Looks like the underlying ETF is SPLV here. Low volatility ETF, dividend yield 1.95%. I like low volatility. Last 12 months, 12.45%. Let's put $20 into the low volatility index here. Just once. Next, now we have $20 of slow and steady. So really meant to be a buy and hold stock there. Moving on, now we have Uncle Sam here. Looks like these are going to be some T-notes, probably a lot of bonds here. The underlying ETF here is VGIT, intermediate term government bonds. Performance probably not great. Yeah, 0.3% in the negative. Let's just add $5 to this particular ETF, not every month. Let's just do that once. So we have $5 Uncle Sam bond fund now added to the portfolio. Moving on in I Want, we have the last one in the category, Up and Coming. This is probably, yeah, international ETF here. Underlying ETF, VWO, Emerging Markets ETF. Probably has not had a good performance. Dividend yield 2.2% performance. Well, 19.95%. Surprise there. Let's go ahead and add $10. Probably a little bit riskier investment option, but $10 is not a lot of cash, so we'll go ahead and park that money there. Not in Park My Cash, but in the emerging markets fund. So now we have completed the I1 category, the I like category, American Innovators. Probably some Apple, maybe some Tesla in there, Microsoft, Facebook. Dividend yield 1.05%, underlying ETF, excuse me, VGT here, Vanguard fund. Always like Vanguard funds here. Didn't look at the performance. I'm going to have some faith in Vanguard here. Put $50 into American Innovators. Have some faith in the American innovators here. Not sure if they had Tesla. Elon Musk, I think, would be on the forefront of American man, I can't pronounce anymore. This is getting too tedious here. Innovators, American Innovators, excuse me. Let's go ahead and enjoy ourselves here some more. With Enjoy Yourself, underlying ETF, PEJ here, Power Shares Dynamic Leisure and Entertainment ETF, 0.64% ETF performance, 21.87, very, very good here. Let's add that to the portfolio. Let's do $20. Next, enjoy ourselves. I might just kind of flip through the rest of these fairly quickly here. Global Citizen. Looks like the underlying ETF for Global Citizen is VT. Another good Vanguard Total World stock. Let's go ahead and put $15. We haven't done a $15 investment option yet. So not $150. Let's do 15. Yep, there we go. Just once, 15 of Global Citizen is now in the portfolio. And as I follow along, I'll go a little bit more in-depth into each of these particular ETFs here. Internet Titans here, yeah, Amazon, Facebook, Netflix, dividend yield, non-existent. Underlying ticker, FD in there. First Trust Index Fund. I think the performance should be very good. Yeah, 31.01%. Let's go ahead and add $50 of this stock. Looked like it had some very good companies for the top 10 companies in that ETF. Internet Titans. Moving on, and I like, we now have Modern Medicines, or Modern Meds anyway. Looks like pharmaceutical stock here, XBI, yeah, biotech stock, 0.16 dividend yield performance, 21%. Let's do another 15. Haven't done a lot of 15 stocks yet. All right, now we have Modern Meds in the portfolio at $15. Moving on, we now have Money Machines here. This has probably been performing very well. Underlying ETF, EPFP here, Vanguard Financials ETF, very good. Yeah, 25.36%, doing very well. Another Vanguard fund. Let's go ahead and do $50 because why not? It's a good Vanguard fund. $50 on Money Machines is now in the portfolio. Moving on, and I like, we now have on Cloud9. It's probably I was going to say it's leisure ETF. No, it is a Cloud Computing Index Fund. SKYY. Performance, pretty good, 28.59%. And by pretty good, I mean phenomenal. Let's go ahead and put $20 into this fund. Just once, $20. That has now been added to the fund. So some cloud computing has been added to the Stash Invest portfolio here. Continuing on, and I like retail therapy. Not sure this is going to be a good one to invest in. Retail has definitely not been doing well. XRT here, retail ETF. Let's see here. Yeah, 4.37% in the red. Portfolio has had a very bad time here lately. Just put $5 in just once because of one of the other ETFs we invested in, Amazon. So Amazon has definitely been taking over the world, especially with retail. Social Media Mania. I bet this has been doing very well. Yeah, Facebook, Twitter. I'm not sure if it has any Snap in here. Underlying ticker SOCL, Global X Social Media Index ETF. Dividend only 0.13%. Yeah, doing very, very well, as we would anticipate. 44.35%. Let's do another 15 for this one. $15 just once has now been added to the portfolio. And social media. Our portfolio is now a social media expert and investor. Moving on, and I like wireless wonders. I don't think utilities have been doing too well. AT&T, Verizon, I have those individually in my Robinhood portfolio. Dividend yield 3.14%, as you would expect with utilities here. Yeah, just 5.25%. But again, these typically have very good dividends on them. Let's put 15 just once. Next, now we have some utilities now added to the portfolio. Wireless wonders. And I think there's only a few left here. Yeah, just one left here. Young Money. Looks like Some new companies here, yeah, PayPal, Google there, Alphabet, Expedia. Underlying ETF, MILN, Global X ETF here. Let's go ahead, look at the performance, 16.7%. Looks like it's relatively new. Let's go ahead and add, let's get crazy and add $20 to the portfolio. Just one. So now we have one of each of the investment options on Stash Invest in the portfolio. So we're going to go ahead and again, Stash Invest only buys and sells twice a day, in the morning and then in the afternoon here. So we'll kind of follow along to see how each of these investment opportunities plays out here in Stash Invest. So I now have each of the ETFs and that one stock in Stash Invest in the portfolio. Like I said, we'll follow along to see how they're doing. Still have a little bit of cash left over. I'll go back later and add to some of the ETFs I think are going to be doing a little bit better and the ones I like. So again, Stash Invest here, I have bought all of the investment options. We're going to follow along. Let me know what you guys are doing in your Stash Invest applications, if you're doing similar or not. And as I follow along, I'll go into more detail on each of these particular investment opportunities. So having said all of that, go ahead and end the video here. As always, if you guys enjoy my videos, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Really helps me out building the channel. I've enjoyed putting out videos. If you guys have any good video ideas, any good remarks, let me know in the comment threads below, and I'll get back to you as quickly as I can. Yeah, kind of with that, I'll end the video, and we'll see you guys next time.